And again, who is providing them with such huge logistical support? The Taliban, moreover, they have no single leader. They claim to have a central council in Kandahar. However, no platform or political agenda is made known yet. The declarations of their many leaders are not consistent with each other. On the 20th of September, one of their leaders, Mullah Mishr, said to Peter Christie, the correspondent of Reuters news agency, that the problem of Afghanistan can only be solved through war. Mr. President, the Islamic State of Afghanistan has expressed intense indignation of the people and of the government in its note of September 6 and September 14, 95, document S/1995/795, addressed to His Excellency the Secretary General of the United Nations, calling for immediate measures to end the state of occupation in Western Afghanistan. We specifically requested the United Nations to send a fact-finding mission to the western part of the country to investigate and assess the reality of the state of occupation. And I think this is the responsibility of the Security Council. The resistance of our people, however, together with the forces of the Islamic State of Afghanistan against the mercenaries and foreign militias, have been further strengthened. As a result, the province of Ghor in the east of Herat, once occupied, was liberated. The foreign armed intervention reached, however, to a new dimension. The bands of mercenaries were reinforced in west of Kabul to attack the capital. The plan is to attack engineers. The plan of the attack engineered and teleguided from abroad. We strongly demand the special mission of the United Nations to break the silence regarding those mercenaries and answer the relevant questions, including whether this band is a cause or threat to peace. This is particularly pertinent, Mr. President, in the contrast to the fact that the special mission once considered the Taliban as positive factor for peace. Is it not the time for the United Nations Special Mission to find out the intentions of the Taliban in relation to General Assembly resolutions on Afghanistan? Mr. President, the course of events has proved that the United Nations Special Mission encountered many difficulties and challenges, owing to the lack of adequate capabilities to ensure the mandate entrusted to it by its Resolution 48/208 and 49/140. To enhance the capabilities of the special mission, the Islamic State of Afghanistan submit the following 5-point proposal. 1. The necessity to reinforce the mission requires the formation of a contact group on Afghanistan to speed up the peace process. The contact group on Afghanistan should be composed of one representing the United Nations Special Mission, one representing the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Conference, which is already active in the peace process in Afghanistan, one representative from among the member states of the Organization of Islamic Conference, but not a country directly involved, one representative from among the members of the European Union, and one representative from among the members of the non-aligned movement. 2. The contact group would promote the peace process in Afghanistan by focusing its endeavors in the light of information, evidences, and documents provided to the special mission pertaining to the violation of sovereignty and territorial integrity of Afghanistan. 3. The contact group on Afghanistan will search for ways and means of ending foreign interferences and interventions in the internal affairs of Afghanistan and propose effective and appropriate recommendations to the Secretary General of the United Nations and to the Security Council. 4. Different proposed programs for bringing peace to Afghanistan should be studied by the contact group in consultation with the involved Afghan parties. These endeavors will be aimed at the following objectives. A, creation of a commission for the convening of the Grand National Assembly, or Loy Jirga. This commission would also have the mandate to draft the constitution to include firm disposition guaranteeing democracy and human rights for the future Afghanistan. B, convening of the Grand National Assembly, or Loy Jirga, within 1 year. C, election of the future leader of Afghanistan for a subsequent fixed term of office. D, adoption of the constitution. And E, formation of the first parliament from among the members of the Grand National Assembly, which could represent the administrative units of the country on the basis of their population proportions. 5. The contact group on Afghanistan will immediately approach all Afghan groups and invite them to participate in Supreme State Council as well as the government until the formation of Grand National Assembly, or Loy Jirga. The contact group on Afghanistan will also play a crucial role in the reconstruction of the country as required by General Assembly Resolution 49/140 adopted on December 20th, 1994. Mr. President, we consider the above-mentioned proposal that has already been submitted to His Excellency the Secretary General of the United Nations as a secure and short path towards peace, national rapprochement, stability, through the cessation of hostilities. For those who refuse to accept the 1-year lapse of time for the above-mentioned peace process, insisting on an unconditional and immediate transfer of power, we say that a period of 1 year is not long in the life of a nation. Had there been an agreement a year ago for the transfer of power and for the consolidation of political process, we would have been by now in the process of transferring power. We solemnly ask the General Assembly to take under consideration this proposal while discussing the agenda item on Afghanistan during this historical 50th session. Mr. President, having said this, we would like to state for those who insist on the need of a military solution to the problem that the Islamic State of Afghanistan, while willing to transfer the power to a legitimate and lawful authority, at the same time has the capacity and capability to respond to the terrorist acts of mercenaries linked to foreign quarters. Afghanistan would not allow any circle to undermine the process of peaceful transfer of power and normal political process to be implemented under the supervision of the United Nations and of the Organization of Islamic Conference. Those outsider cliques who are recruiting, training, arming, and providing financial assistance to the mercenaries, as well as reinforcing them with their own militia for destabilizing by using these reactionary obscurantist groups, a moderate Islamic system which believes in democracy and human rights, are wrong in their assessments and calculations. These foreign circles may think that after the usurping of power by the Taliban, all will go well for them. In fact, they would add another problem by bringing to the scene especially a faction which has no factual presence in the political scene of Afghanistan. These circles should be aware that the peace and security in the capital, the actual relative peace and stability in the country and in the region would be jeopardized by such erroneous miscalculation. The same error was made by the former Soviet Union in 1979. For the sake of record, Mr. President, we would like to emphasize that those who ignite the fire in our country will burn themselves. It would be too late then to come again to the peaceful political process in which we are now trying to embark on. Mr. President, the statement of His Excellency the Foreign Minister of Pakistan on 27 September 1995 before this August Assembly pertaining to the relation between Afghanistan and Pakistan was itself a clear illustration of his government's unfriendly intentions towards my country. The assertions of His Excellency Foreign Minister of Pakistan, as contained in his statement, needs to be responded for the sake of record. 1. The Pakistani distinguished Foreign Minister was trying to confuse our friends and to divert attention of the world public opinion from their own naked interferences in Afghanistan and from the invasion by their militia assisting the so-called Taliban in Western Afghanistan to the tragic incident in their embassy in Kabul. In this regard, the following explanations are necessary. I begin the profound regret on behalf of His Excellency the President, the government and the people of Afghanistan about the very sad and grieving incident which occurred in the Embassy of Pakistan in Kabul on September 6, 1995. This message has also been forwarded by an official note of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Afghanistan to the Foreign Ministry of Pakistan. Furthermore, I have conveyed 2 messages by telephone from Kabul to His Excellency Mr. Najmuddin Sheikh, Foreign Secretary of Pakistan. The tragic incident contradicts the traditional hospitality of the Afghan people. While we are expressing our grief on the incident, which we consider unjustifiable, at the same time, some of the aspects of the event have been overlooked by the distinguished Foreign Minister of Pakistan, whose government tried to use different forums for political gains through the distortion of the realities. Allow me, Mr. President, for the sake of the record, to point out the sequence of incidents as it happened. On the 6th of September 1995, on the morrow of the occupation of Herat city by the so-called Taliban mercenaries, with the help of foreign militias, the people of Kabul held a peaceful demonstration. Tens of thousands of peaceful demonstrators gathered outside the compound of the Embassy of Pakistan in Kabul, giving anti-Pakistani slogans. The staff of the embassy, contrary to all recognized principles of international law, used a firearm from inside the embassy premises against the peaceful demonstrators. This caused the death of one of the students by the name of Badruddin Muslim, an 11th grader of the Nadiriya High School of Kabul. This highly unjustifiable and provocative act of the embassy staff incited the furor of the demonstrators, who at the beginning were non-violent and peaceful, only to express their deep resentment against the occupation of part of their country. It is noteworthy, Mr. President, to mention that the security forces of the government were already active in the early morning while observing the spontaneous gathering of people in different parts of Kabul city. The security forces formed 2 security belts around the embassy premises. However, that of the young demonstrator caused a sudden reaction. Unfortunately, the crowd went out of control. The security forces tried their utmost to prevent the upsurge of violence and to protect the embassy and its staff. Regrettably, despite the loss suffered by the security forces, in which 5 of their personnel were killed while protecting the embassy, they did not succeed in preventing this tragic